Hello, everyone, and welcome to Metal Matrix After Dark. Today, I'm going to talk about the Quebec government's announcement yesterday about possibly charging people who are unvaccinated for the COOF. That is right. Under the auspice of you not being vaccinated, they are looking at taxing you so that you can access the universal health care in Canada. This sets up a dangerous precedent if it ever gets through, in that other provincial governments across Canada could then pick and choose where to tax individuals based on what their habits are. That is not what universal health care meant in Canada. That was not what Tommy Douglas wanted. Tommy Douglas fought for universal health care based on your medical needs, not on your health habits, exercise or not. That is a dangerous precedent that Quebec government is now looking into under the auspice of not being vaccinated. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, there you go. There's the premier of Quebec. Wonderful picture of this bozo as far as I'm concerned right now. In what would be, by the way, this is the Toronto Star right now. What would be Canada's first? The Premier of Quebec says the province is making plans to tax the unvaccinated in face of soaring COVID 19 case counts and hospitalizations. Now, let's make this clear right now. It's the Omicron variant that has exploded across the population and has affected both unvaccinated and vaccinated individuals. And this has increased the case counts going into hospitalization in specific areas. But the measures expected to, but the measures expected to be well received by parts of the pandemic weary public, being panned by critics, rightly so, as a step too far and that would be impractical to implement. I can't even say the word right now, challenged in court and could further sow seeds of social division. Here we go. The government trying to split us apart based on whether you want to get the poke or whether you don't want to get the poke. It doesn't matter in regards to universal health care in Canada. Canadian Health Act does not differentiate your health habits. And if this gets through and somehow the courts allow it, this will set a dangerous precedent for the next thing. Like, say you don't exercise that often or you don't do enough walking. You will be taxed for not walking enough, or you could be taxed for drinking too much pop or having not eating enough vegetables. This will start a slippery slope. And that's not what Tommy Douglas, who instituted universal health care in Canada, wanted. We finally got rid of the extra charges across the countries that different provincial governments put in place because the Canadian government said they must go if you want to access the monies that we supply for healthcare. What's even funnier, let's go to the Guardian and show you something that I was read. Okay, again, sorry. Quebec announcement that it will impose healthcare tax on unvaccinated residents has prompted the fierce debate as the province looks to salvage its crumbling healthcare system amidst the latest wave of the virus. Canadian Province Premier Francois Legault said that Tuesday that those who choose to remain unvaccinated would pay a health contribution, not a tax, contribution. Let's, twisting on the words here, to brainwash people into believing that, oh, this is a good for society. Acknowledging growing friction in the province as the unvaccinated draw a greater share of the sacred medical resources. That was true under the original coronavirus and the Delta variant. Not so true under the Omicron. The Quebec news site La Presse warned the tax could target vulnerable members of society who often lack resources or information needed to access vaccines. This is the wrong argument because right now the governments have made ensured, especially in a province where I live, that the minorities got information and got access, or the vulnerable people. Make sure that they got the information and got the poke. Especially here where the indigenous residents across the province, no matter what your age, got the vaccine before anybody else in the age as they were handing it out based on age. So, uh, arguing that, and I'm getting tired of every time something gets put in, they call it racist or what's the word? Targeted when it's not. This is targeting universal people who choose to be not vaccinated. They must not become scared. Like I'm not going to read the rest because that's a load of garbage. But the La Presse conclude the text was a necessary tool to fight against the virus. It is this exceptional contest asking the non-poked people to pay a reasonable price can be explained. It's a question of fairness. Everyone must contribute to the war effort against the coronavirus. I'm going to say that right now. I just love how they say contribute to the war effort. They're now putting the current situation as a war now and trying to get people on board to say, hey, this is a great idea to get that extra money out of these individuals, to force them to get the poke. Look, I'm not a medical expert. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do it. I will be upfront. I did get the poke, but that was my reasons after doing a lot of research because I had hesitancy. I'll admit that. And I chose because based on certain factors that I would get it. I understand the individuals that are not the wingnuts, as I would call it, that are don't want to get the poke because they have reasons behind it, and I understand that because I was hesitant. I'm not telling you which way to go. I'm not telling you any opinion of it because it is information that you need to look for yourself and dissect. The province has not released timeline for when it could impose a tax. It would be the first of its kind in North America, or how much it would charge. Austria, which rolled out a similar tax in November, requires residents over 14 years of age to pay 3,600 euros or 4,100 US. Every 3 months, they remain non-poked. I am telling you this right now. That is Austria. Austria does not have a universal health care act like Canada does, which specifically says you cannot be charged extra or based on your health habits. Anyways, let's go down on the bottom here. But experts warn against the reactionary policies that undermine access to healthcare. Even antisocial, obnoxious, misinformed, ignorant people have rights. That is true. That is true. Wrote Globe and Mail health columnist Andre Picard. In a public health regime, patients must be treated based on medical needs, period. There is no room for moralistic judgment or financial penalties. You do not abandon your principles because somebody's actions or inaction irks you. Like I said, this gets through, there will be other things that will come in slowly, i.e., not exercising enough, drinking too much sugary pop, too much sugar, period, across the board, not eating enough vegetables, stuff like that. It will be a dangerous slope if this ever gets in and stays in power. This government, Quebec, needs to get their head right side up and do the right thing and stop even talking about it. That's my opinion. Like what I said, hit the like button down below. If you disliked it, go ahead and dislike. Comments are always welcome as long as they're respectful. Feedback is also welcome. Anyways, hope you like what I said. Take care. Be kind to each other.